Hi, my name is Tyler, and welcome to my TED Talk. You guys ever really notice how many manual cars there are out there? Not many. There's only 3.9% of cars built in the United States that are actually manual cars. Why? Because Americans are actually lazy. Most Americans actually would drive automatics because it's a lot easier and it's less work for them to actually use. But think about it. If you're actually driving a manual car, it's more to maintain, and we actually know what we're doing because then you have to worry about the clutch, the flywheel, the slave cylinder, the master cylinder, and all the other components that are included with it. For one, it actually saves gas, and saving gas is really important to driving a car because if you're using up all your gas while driving from point A to point B, that's not a good thing. But when you're in a manual car, controlling all your gears and shifting every single one of them in a certain RPM can actually save gas rather than an automatic, because when you're driving an automatic car, it automatically shifts for you, and in the CPU of the automatic transmission, there's no limit to where it shifts. So when you're just driving and hitting the gas, it just shifts whenever it wants to and whenever it can. With the manual transmission, you decide when to shift into gears. No computer will know better than you about driving or shifting. And when you're shifting gears, you're also more focused onto driving because then you also have the opportunity to look around at your surroundings and then worry about, oh, if there's a car in front of me, I have to slow down and I have to downshift, and it keeps you awake instead of being just, oh, I'm just gonna hit the gas the whole time, have my foot there, and just go on about my day and just be bored and then get tired over like the 2 hour period that you're supposed to drive. With automatic vehicles, they cost more in the long run because of the maintenance that it require with their complex design of system. And with an automatic vehicle, you rely on a torque converter to switch gears for you, which makes it less fuel efficient. And when driving a stick, it also gives you more control since you control gears, making it easier for you to slow down or go faster in certain situations. On average, standard transmissions are usually cheaper than the automatic counterparts.
A clutch is basically a friction material, sort of like a brake pad that transfers the power between the motor and the transmission, which ultimately goes to the wheels. You have a flywheel on the end of the motor at the end of the crankshaft, which is in the bell housing of the transmission, and you have a clutch disc that bolts up to the flywheel. Then you have your pressure plate that holds the disc in place. So now you have the flywheel that's bolted up to the motor that's constantly spinning. Then you have the pressure plate that bolts up to the flywheel that holds the disc in place. And the disc is splined. The spline's right here in the middle of the disc that'll go onto the input shaft of the transmission. So the clutch spins freely in the middle, and every time you let in and out of the clutch pedal, the pressure plate moves back and forth to engage the disc to the flywheel. Friction eventually will stop the disc from turning, and the pressure plate will transfer the power from the flywheel to the splined input shaft through the transmission, which ultimately hits the ground.